Hey everyone.
Hello.
Jake is being really mature right now. So really quickly, I am going to show you one of the van projects that I'm doing right now because it's kind of insane and I'm jumping a whole bunch of levels in the knowledge of construction category, and that is electrical. Here's the basic plan. I watched a video from Trent and Allie, who are really famous van lifers, and they were talking about how their solar array obviously is like, I mean, it's powerful, but it's not powerful enough to handle an actual air conditioner. And what they did was they built one out of a cooler, and they basically put like this kind of aluminum tubing inside it. They stuck a 12-volt fan on one end and basically blew the cold air through the cooler and put ice on top of this, and then it chilled the air, and the air that came out was nice and cold. So we are going to try and make a smaller version of that for our van, so that's a little bit more portable, and also so that we can actually have some AC now while we're still doing work on the van, assuming it works. I'm about to cut wires and do electrical things, and I thought you should watch. So I did some research on how these things work, and I have basic tools. First of all, electrical tape, you gotta have it. This is a terminal kit that I just bought. What it's got in here are like little terminal like rings that you would put like on a car battery, but they're teeny tiny. And then also connectors, which you use with a crimping tool, and that's what I'm planning on doing for this project. This is a crimping tool. This one's specifically made for, looks like 10 through 22 gauge wire, so really small, which is what we're working with. This is the fan. I bought it on Amazon for actually a different project, but they didn't have inline fans at Lowe's when we went, so I'm going to use it for this and get a different one for that other thing because it's not happening for a while. So as you can see, this is a standard 12-volt fan. Really quickly to kind of back up. So basically, household appliances and other things that you would use in a car, electricity-wise, they're in two categories. They're either 12-volt, which is something that will connect with a USB or like a cigarette plug lighter or whatever. They're low energy drawing devices. And then there's 110 volt, which is your standard like outlet plug. So if you obviously wanted to plug this into a wall, you need one of those like USB adapter thingies and plug it in. But when we're in the van and we're running off battery, we actually want it to run off of this and not convert it to that, because that wall socket actually draws more power than if we were to just hook this up via USB. So that's the plan. So when I was in Lowe's, I was looking at, you know, they have plugs for people that are just the plug, so you can wire it yourself. But I could not find either a USB or a cigarette plug lighter male version. They only have like the wall sockets. So I asked a guy, and he was basically like, just buy the cheapest USB cord we have here and strip it and use it. And I was like, that's brilliant. So that's what I'm gonna do. I want the cord to be as long as possible, so I'm gonna clip this part off. It looks like it's a micro USB. It was. It isn't any longer. I'm gonna try and strip it gently. Oh, that didn't do it. I'm being too gentle. I'll get there eventually, right? Ah, I did it! Okay, so obviously what we want is positive and negative, red and usually black. In this case, it's blue. I don't know why, but whatever. And then I'm gonna try and get close up so you can see that these wires in here, there are actually 4. There is red and black, but there's also green and white, which handle, I guess, grounding and data. So the tutorial that I looked at basically said you're going to connect the black to the black and the red to the red. And the other ones, you're not going to strip, you're not going to connect them to anything. You're just going to basically close them off with electrical tape. So that's what I'm going to do. Here we go. Okay, friends, I'm back. I went to Best Buy and got a computer fan. This is an actual 12-volt one. They only had this really fancy one. A lot of their shelves were bare, although they were taking social distancing and like sanitation like really seriously, so that's kind of cool. So my understanding is I'm gonna strip the ends of these teeny tiny wires and connect red to red and black to black, seal them up with some electrical tape, and then we'll plug it in and see what happens. Okay, I think I did everything right. So we've got the phone cord that I stripped. It had 4 teeny tiny little wires in it. The white and the green are not being used, so I capped them off with electrical tape. And then I connected black to black and red to red, which you might not be able to see very well, but red is positive, black is negative. And then there was this yellow guy coming from the fan. Who freaking knows what that was? So I've got all these guys hooked up now. I guess it's the moment of truth. Guys, I'm like extremely nervous. Now, yes, I am testing this first with 110 volts. Okay, here we go. Plugging it in. Oh my God, I did it! And it lights up. Okay. Guys, I did a thing. I did electrical. And I didn't kill myself. I'm really, really, really excited. Okay, now that this is a success, I can move on with the rest of the construction of the cooler, which will require sawing into the cooler and all this other stuff, but I'm gonna go celebrate this victory because this is pretty freaking cool. Functional. I got my little generator on here. This is the vent. It has 2 sides, so it diverts out left and right. On this side, we have that reducer with the computer fan going. And then inside, oh, I forgot. I have to go this way. So you can see that we fit one end of the aluminum pipe to the fan, and then on this side, it took poor Jay forever. You can see that there's like a fitting that mounts onto that diverter on the outside, and he cut the hole so perfect that it was like almost impossible to get those little like tongue and groove type little thingies connected. But after like a half hour of war, he won, and now it's doing things. But a fan, I mean, it's a 12-volt fan, so it's very weak. It's like not gonna blow your it's not gonna blow your hair, you know. But what I am gonna do is I'm just gonna let it run in here for a little bit. We're gonna go eat dinner, and then we can come in and see what temperature it is. Alright, y'all. I've been in the van for all of 3 minutes, and I'm already pretty moist, as you can see. putting the AC in here and just letting it run didn't do much of anything. And we're not surprised, because that little computer fan is not, I mean, that's the problem with 12 volt, is that basically, like, it is what it is kind of thing. It's not powerful. It's not like an AC condenser. So we're not sure if there's a stronger 12 volt fan that we can maybe substitute, or if we just want to go 110 volt and have it draw a little more power. I don't know. But I'm in here now, and I took the vent off. It was basically just stopping all the airflow. So now it's just a nice empty whatever, which is also good because I see there's some condensation accumulating in there, so it's probably good to be able to have access to it to, you know, dry it out and whatever. I mean, there's definitely air coming out. So, wins of the day. We found the right cooler, we found the right fixings, and I successfully rewired something. It just so happens that the something is lackluster. So, anyway, that's the update on the Van AC. That is all I can handle for right now, and maybe for a while. I'm tired. And Jake is too. So, anyway. Okay, so happy ending. So I did some research to find out how fan strength is measured, and it is a measurement called it's a measurement called CFM. This fan that I bought is 40.6 CFM. It turns out that a bilge blower, which is a fan, an inline fan that's used in marine, I don't even know what a bilge is, but that's what it's for.
It's the thing you use to pump water out of your boat. For example, if water goes into your boat, you bilge it, you're pumping it out of the boat, either so that your boat doesn't sink, or sometimes if you have a live well in your boat where you catch fish and you put them in a tank of water so that they stay alive until you take them ashore to clean them. When you want to clean that tank out, you bilge, and then the water that's held in your boat comes out.
There you have it. So anyway, this new fan that I bought, $30, so a little bit more than this, but it's 270 CFM, not 40, 270.
That's like 6.5 times as much.
So we're pretty confident it's gonna pack a lot more power. And I bought what are called USB terminal adapters, which basically it's like a USB, and then it's got, like, you know those things on the back of old school speakers where you'd have a red and a black wire, and you had to kind of like plug in stripped wires into the back of the you know, sound system, and then the speakers would work. It's basically the same thing, but it's for itty bitty wires, and it goes inside the USB plug like itself, and it has like 5 spots on it for 5 different itty bitty cords. So basically, point being, I'm not going to have to strip a bunch of wires and do everything that I did earlier today all over again. Instead, I am going to be able to kind of like push and play. So those arrive in a couple of days. Fingers crossed that when it comes and we turn on the AC, it'll be a whole different story. Anyway, Saturday.